Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nico from Porch Talk. I just wanted to tell you guys, hey, thank you so much for your support. It really goes a long way. Sorry to interrupt the episode at the beginning. I just want to let you know, if you could leave a rating and review specifically on iTunes. It really goes a long way. It really helps the channel grow, really helps the podcast get to more people. And yeah, I love you all. Thank you so much for your support. I'm loving doing these episodes, and so is Marcus. And yeah, please rate, review on iTunes, and love you all. Enjoy. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Nico, and welcome to Porch Talk, episode 31. I had my good friend Cole, who is also a tattoo artist at Endless Ink. We talked about a lot of things. With Cole, I really wanted to see, from his point of view, what it was like being a young parent. Me being a young parent myself, I had a lot of questions. Then we went into his life story, and then finally we ended up on the topic of tattooing. So, really great episode. Don't miss out on it. Listen all the way through. And remember, the giveaway is still going on, so make sure you guys rate and review on iTunes and follow the social medias. Other than that, enjoy. My big question for just the start of this: how old's your daughter? When did you have your daughter?
I had her when she was 20, or when I was 21. And a lot of people were freaking out about it, what the hell are you doing? You know. But I look at it the bright side, man. She's, by the time I'm 40, she'll be 18. So
Mm-hmm.
dude, I have so much time to do whatever the hell I want when I'm older, So
Yeah.
that, and I'll be able to enjoy a lot more stuff with her, which I don't know. I love being a young parent, man. I can just relate to her so much more.
Oh, no, and I completely understand. I think that's why I think we connect on a deeper level, because I have a son, too. He just turned 2 last month, and I just wanted to know your come up to get to that point where you became a father, what was going through your mind, and all that.
We actually, we decided to have her. Before I was a full-time tattoo artist, I actually used to weld. I was working for GE Aviation, which was all aerospace,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's TIG welding, which is it's so much hand-eye coordination, and we were just at such a good point in life at such a young age, and I made just so much money.
Mm-hmm.
Where we just sat down one night, and actually it was right after my grandma passed, so I don't want to say that it 100% had to deal with that, but I definitely fed into the want to have a child.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But we sat down one night and we just discussed it, and she was on board. And then, I don't know, from there, my whole mindset just started to change slowly to I know I'm going to be a dad. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there was never a time where I got scared. I sat there and watched everything during the birthing process. I was right there just watching everything, and I don't know, man. I loved it. It was an amazing experience just to watch your child come into the world.
Oh, yeah, no, I completely agree and understand. So let's take a step backwards. Where'd you grow up? Did you grow up in Piqua?
Yeah. I grew up in Piqua. Lived all over Piqua, to be honest. I've lived in 1 year. I think me and my mom and my sister moved 13 times in 1 year, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was just, it was my mom. She was a single mother for until I was 13 when she met my dad. She did a lot of shit by her. She had 3 jobs at one point, man. So
oh
it was
my gosh.
At times we barely got to see her, but honestly, that's why I got my throat piece is to represent, because we're Native American in my family, and I wanted a Native American warrior on my throat to represent how strong she was. So, yeah, man. But yeah, and then she ended up meeting my dad. I mean, technical aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my dad nonetheless. And when she met him, and that's when my life took a change for the better, to be honest. I stopped hanging out with these. At my time back when I was young, dude, I was smoking fucking weed on the
Of
school
course.
bus. And
Yeah. Oh my gosh, on the school
on
bus?
the school bus, man.
Oh
yeah,
shit.
I just got with these guys that were in, a couple grades older than me, and they were going nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we just smoked on the back of the school bus. So I wasn't running with a good crowd at all. And then my mom met my dad, and they were together for a while, and then they just ended up saying, like, either you can stay in Piqua, stay with the people that you know, or you can go to Miami East and start fresh. And honestly, I used to get my ass beat in Piqua.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude would just, and I was too nice. Like, I wouldn't stand up for myself. I thought confrontation. I just avoided it at all costs. And actually I won't say any names, but I actually had this kid that I was really close to. He ended up pushing my head through a freaking window in the bathroom. That
Yeah.
it's like that painted glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pushed my head through the damn window.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I didn't do anything. I just sat there, and I started crying, and I ran to the fucking office.
Oh my god. Wait, so let's take a step back. So your school life, you were smoking pot in the back of the school bus, but other than that, did you keep to yourself? Did you?
Oh yeah, I was such an outcast, man. Grades were shitty. I hated everything that dealt with school. I've never been social. I've always had this awkwardness, but tattooing, being here, this is the place where I just feel at most at home. So talking to people all the time is a must for this job, and I mean, it doesn't bother me at all, just because the end result I know is going to be me tattooing or discussing about a tattoo, and I love tattoos.
Okay. So at that point where the person pushed your head through the window, was that high school, middle school?
That was junior high.
All right, so that was middle school. So was there any big change from middle school to high school? Did your mindset change any, or did the people around you help you change?
Yeah, man. Once I actually moved out to Miami East. Once, I think it was my 8th grade year, moved out to Miami East. And yeah, man, just a whole different environment of people. And I wasn't really accepted by any means at first, just because, dude, I wore Chucks, flat bills, and I'm going to an all redneck school.
Yeah.
On another level, did not fit in. And, honestly, I kept to myself until I ended up going to the CTC, which is a vocational school for welding.
I went to CTC as well for veterinary science,
so
I know exactly where where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I went there, started welding, started getting really good. Went out on a couple jobs, through the school. And then, I mean, during this process, I honestly wanted to go into the military, the Marine Corps actually, and I ended up getting one too many tattoos. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to go. I was 2 weeks away from boot camp, and my recruiter called me, and he was like, "Dude, I'm sorry," and I was like, "Fuck, what do I do?" And he was like, "Well, have you ever thought about the Army?" And when you have your mindset at being the top of the list badass, when he told me
anything
that,
else is
dude,
demeaning.
I laughed and walked out.
Yeah.
And then, dude, for the next couple weeks, I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Because throughout high school, that was my plan, was Marine Corps. That was it.
Why Marine Corps?
My grandpa, which actually is I got his dog tags. That was my first tattoo on my ribs.
Okay.
He was in the Army. He went to Vietnam, and just something about that, man, just how I looked up to him made me want to be, I want to say, better than him, in any of that sense.
Live up to his expectations of you.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. And then the Marines, man, I was a tough little fucker growing up. I mean, other than once I moved out to Miami East, man, and my dad was like, "Look, either you stick up for yourself, or they're just gonna whoop your ass just like they did at Piqua." And I was like, "Shit, all right." And then, dude, I have a Native American, so getting mixed up with Latino, or not, they would always call me, which is a racist term, but beaner,
Oh yeah, yeah,
all the
yeah,
time,
yeah.
man. And like it got to the point where it just blew up inside of me, and I just waylaid the shit out of this kid one day, and then everybody stopped fucking with me. Everybody just like left me
And
alone.
that's
They're
the
like,
beautiful thing about
yeah,
it,
yeah,
man.
yeah, man. They backed up and they're like, whoa, like he's small, but damn. But
So when you made the transition to this career technical center, why welding out of all the other things? Was that just the thing that stood out to you, like, oh man, that would be a cool option, or did you have like something in your mind saying, oh, like welding would be the way to go?
well, funny story, because I actually, when you fill out the application to go to the CTC, they you have like your top choice, and they give you two other choices just in case you don't make it to the first one. My first choice was the ROTC because I wanted to be in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Second choice, and the only reason I even applied for or put it down was because one of my best friends was going into welding, and I was just like, oh shit, I'll just be able to kick it with him for the next 2 years. And then I didn't. There were so many spots for the ROTC, and so I ended up getting placed in welding. And then a week later, he drops out of welding and goes to, I think it was electrical. And I was like, dude, damn.
Like you just left me here.
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh, okay. And so, dude, I was in it for like 2 months, and and I started getting kind of close with these guys. Like, dude, you're around each other a lot.
Oh yeah.
And some of them were pretty cool. I honestly didn't like a couple of them that later in life I became best friends with. But, yeah, I got called into the office, and they were like the 2 months into it, they were like, well, a spot just opened up in the ROTC program if you want to go into there. I just sat there like dumbfounded, like, holy hell, like, but I kind of like these dudes, so I don't know what I should do. And then he was like, well, I need an answer by third period. So I went to my other two classes, and I didn't tell anybody. I was just like, I'm going to really think about it. And then, I don't know, I was just like looking at my helmet that was sitting on my desk, and it had this like cool clown thing that I drew into it. And I was like, man, I'll be able to like do this kind of stuff all the time, as opposed to if I'm in the ROTC, I won't be able to express myself throughout art whatsoever.
Yeah, at all.
So honestly, like just seeing the designs on my helmet, like was a done deal that like at least some way I can be artistic in this field compared to the other. So
that is awesome.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
throughout this whole time, were you drawing? Were you doing any?
Yeah, I honestly started tattooing when I was 16. My biological father, he did this sketchy at home bullshit, like, and not like Johnny's way of doing it, like the professional aspect, but he just did it in the most horrible way possible. So I was always kind of around the environment, but yeah, like I don't know. I've always loved to draw. I've always loved to like wood burn. Like that's a real big thing for me. But yeah, I don't know. I never thought it would ever take to the possibility of me being a tattoo artist, like ever. Like permanent things on people's skin, like,
oh yeah, that's
freaked
intense.
me out.
not only that, you make. I mean, everybody in this place really makes the most badass tattoos, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like I've gone to one other place, and it was over in Inglewood. I got Herd tattooed on my side. It is the sketchiest looking thing ever. I've been meaning to go to Johnny to get it fixed up, but. Anyway, I mean, especially I've seen a lot of your artwork. I know people who go to you to get their tattoos done, and it's just you and everybody else do a phenomenal job here, and I think that's something that you should be proud of.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, and it's the craziest thing that I've ever dealt with, as far as like with just my career with tattooing, is the growth of other people. Like, Charmaine's only been tattooing for 2 years. Like, I was tattooing. I was literally sitting in my tattoo station tattooing this chick when I saw Charmaine walk in the old shop. Like, I saw her walk in, and I was like, holy shit, I remember that girl from school when I used to go to Pickle. And I was like, that's crazy. And then a couple months, I think it was like a week later, or no, 2 weeks later, she ended up started working for us. And like, just to see the progression in 2 years, man, she has a straight gift, dude. It is insane. And that's what makes us different than any other tattoo shop, man. It's like we actually care about the artist progression and other artists and where they're at, how to build them to be a better artist. Like, we don't just like come to work and we deal with each other. Like,
Yeah.
it's a real family vibe, dude. And
Yeah, and I think you do very well bringing that family vibe into your clientele as well. Like,
oh yeah,
I literally walked in, haven't been in here when people were here in a long while. Last time I was in here was with Johnny, a couple weeks or last week, and everybody was like, "Oh, what's up, Nico?" And they still remember my name, and it's just it's that type of feeling that really makes people stay and makes people want to come back, on top of the fantastic artwork that you guys do.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's a real special place. But anyway, getting back to your life. So you get out of CTC, I'm guessing you land a welding job from doing a, what's it called,
I know what you're talking about. I was trying to think of it earlier.
where you're working, but
Like
you're getting
work
school.
placement.
Yeah, work placement type stuff.
Yeah.
So did you land a job off of that, or did you have to go job searching?
No, actually, my uncle already worked for this place called Peerless Food Equipment. It's in Sydney, Ohio, and I actually stayed with them for like 3 years. Pretty much everything, because I dicked off in high school, man. Like, no one
As
took that.
do most people.
Yeah, man. It was a lot of weed, to be completely honest, and just lack of just enthusiasm and motivation. But he ended up saying, like, dude, you know, if you're serious and you want to take a shot at it, like, you're more than welcome. And I was terrified, because the one thing that we in the CTC that we all dicked off on, which was our blueprint reading class. We all just pissed off, and the teacher ended up saying, like, fine, I'm done, like, I'm not gonna teach you guys this
Oh shit! So
we
it got that bad.
Yeah. We took it as like a study hall, and we just, like, you know, it was so stupid. But later in life, that was one of the requirements for every freaking welding job, was you need to be able to read these blueprints. So what went into it, and the guy that was actually giving me my test was a really good friend of my uncle's. And, like, I'm looking up at him, I'm like, dude, I can weld it, just show me what I need to do. And, you know, he definitely was not allowed to do that, but he showed me how to do it. I ran some solid beats for him, and I got the job. And I kept it for about 3 years, and, you know, still always maintained. Like, I've always used to watch Johnny from day one, man. Like, as soon as I met him, there was just something about
How
him.
did you meet, actually? I don't know.
It was actually through a mutual friend of mine. His name's, well, I'm going to say his name. But of both of ours, he's a good friend of both of ours. And he's also another tattoo artist. So I started getting a lot of my early work done from him. And then in that transition is when I actually started going to Phytopia, because I found out one of my little brothers was doing some dumb shit. And I was like, look, I'll pay for your first month here if you stop. And he agreed. So that's when I met Johnny, was at the gym. And I don't know, like, the more and more I went every week at the, like, end of class, he would just sit there and talk about artwork and like how he was doing throughout his apprenticeship and doing it. Like, I would stay an extra, like, hour and a half, almost 2 hours just listening to him talk about art, dude. And then I don't know, I finally got to a point where I was like, dude, like, I want tattooed by him. So it was just a nonstop thing, dude. I was always at his house, like, dude, I was annoying the shit out of him, but I was always just so interested in it, man. And he ended up, you know, creating Endless Ink. Like, I stepped away for a while, man. I can't tell you how many times, like, I sent Johnny a text, like, hey, dude, do you want to buy my tattoo shit? Just because, like, I was always taught, especially from Johnny, that you don't ever half-ass anything you do in life, especially tattoos.
Yeah.
You don't, man. You'll never progress. You'll always be in this rut to where you can't get out of it. And I felt at a couple of times that I was just half-assing everything. So I'd send Johnny and that other guy a text like, hey, I'm thinking about selling my shit. But thank God I never did, man. Like,
that's awesome.
I always kept it, and like, just something about it, even like when we talked about like price and, you know, when they were gonna come pick it up, I could never go through with it, and I was like, nah, never mind, like, I'll keep it. But Yeah, man.
That's intense. That's intense. So, you landed you just said 3 years with your uncle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Welding. After that, you went on your own. Well, during that 3 year period, you met up with Johnny, obviously.
Yeah.
And after your 3 years were done at welding at your uncle's place, what did you do from there?
That's when I made the transition to GE Aviation, and I wanted to take a more serious route to welding. Like, I wanted to be, because dude, I don't know if you are, knowledge at all about the welding industry, but like
Yes.
they actually, like, their Instagrams and shit like that, they have like it's almost an art form, man. Like, just how perfect to get that bead.
Yeah.
And just something about that like attracted me, like, to always try and get the best bead I possibly could, or to get that shine off of it. So I took it as a challenge, and to be certified and all this other stuff, dude, is like, it's a big deal. So at 20 years old, I went and got certified through GE Aviation, to weld on all airplane coolant systems, all that shit, which is like risky as hell, because if you end up using the wrong wire on a certain part and you knew about it, you were just like, ah, fuck it, I don't want to walk and go get the other wire, dude. And it sends out and it blows up in the airplane or whatever the case is, you can be federally prosecuted for that. And I'm like, dude, for the time that I was there, it just freaked me out. And I'm like, if I mess up one time, I'm going to prison, man. Like, no. But yeah, I started welding there, which was third shift. That was like the worst.
Oh man,
it was horrible, dude. That was the first third shift job I've ever had.
Yeah, third shift jobs are not the way to go. I know people have to do them sometimes, but man, it's not good for your health. It's not good for your social life, your love life, anything. Right. It's not good for anything.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why me and my child's mother it was so much stress, because I was welding third shift, so I had to be there at like 9:15 at night, and then I wouldn't get off till like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd go home, sleep for 2 hours, wake up at 8 o'clock, go straight to the old tattoo shop, and then I would tattoo all fucking day until about like 6 or 7, and then I would jump back in the car, run home, and then make sure I had time to spend with her and my daughter. Like, that was a priority to me, to make sure that I had time to spend with them. And then I don't know, man, just after so much, dude, the tattoo industry is very hard on relationships. Johnny's podcast, the conversation you had with Johnny, it is, I've lost so many relationships because of this job, but like, it's as bad as it hurts and as bad as it sucks at that time, man. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to get away from tattooing.
Yeah, like, and not only that, it shows you who actually cares. And right, I mean, right. I know that's kind of crappy to say, but who out of the relationships you've had, whether it be friends or or like intimate relationships, it shows you who's true to you.
Right.
Because
absolutely.
If it's gonna work, it's gonna work if you're tattooing for 12 hours, 13 hours a day, or if you're not. I mean, either way, with friendship or with friends and everything. I don't know how many times I had to say no to my friends because I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go work, be a trainer at my gym and train people, and everybody's like, "Well, you're lame, screw you," that type of stuff. And I mean, as much as they say that, they still are my closest friends. But I definitely see it is a blessing and a curse in your field. I definitely see that.
Yeah, dude, and like I say this to the apprentices all the time, man. Like, you will find out like who your day one down homies are. Like, honestly, I don't have a lot of friends outside of the people that work here. Like, I have a few, like, I have a very select few good buddies, but outside of them, man, like, I've had so many friends just bitch about, because like, dude, our busiest times are on the weekends. Yeah. Like, that's our prime time, and that's when everybody else is getting together outside on the weekends. And it's just like, dude, you gotta understand, like, I want to be there for sure, but like, this is where I'm making my money throughout the week. That's where I have my slow times, and we can kick it whenever. And I know it's not as long, or we got work the next morning. I get that, but it's just a part of the fucking job, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. So, you make the transition. I'm guessing the relationship between your child's mom and you, faded before you could completely transition into tattooing.
Yeah, she's the reason that I started tattooing full time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. It was. I'm not very good with vacation days. Like when people give me that shit, I'm like, dude, I want to run through it so fast. Like,
Yeah.
who wants to be at work?
I know, seriously.
Especially like, dude, when it's sun shining outside, the fish
Oh
are
my
biting.
gosh,
Like you're
yeah.
like, no, I'm not staying.
I'd much rather.
But so I went down. I came down to. I had one vacation day for the entire it was another 8 months.
Oh my god.
And I had to use that last one on a doctor's appointment for my daughter because it jaundice. They which as a new father terrified me, dude. I was.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I want to be there, and they were like, well, this is your last vacation day. I was like, fuck it, use it. I'm going to be there for her, and I did, and so I was down at nothing. And then one morning, dude, I had it was a Friday, and I had the entire day after I got off work booked with tattoos, dude. And I had people slamming my phone with more, like wanting to get in. And I was like, holy shit. And I went to bed. I was talking to her about it, and we went to bed, or I went to bed that morning. And when I woke up, is one of those feelings when you wake up in the morning and you just realize like you're way too late. Like you're looking around the room, it's like, wait, it's too bright. What the hell? Like mine, it was the complete opposite. I was like, it's way too dark outside right now. What the hell? And I jumped up and I ran out there, and she's just folding clothes on the couch. And I was like, what the hell? And she was like, I turned your alarm off. And I was like, so pissed. I'm like, what in the hell? She's like, dude, you need to tattoo. She's like, fuck this welding shit. She's like, you want to tattoo? You need to tattoo. Just do it. And like, I was pissed. And like the adrenaline from realizing I was late, I was just like, I didn't know what to do, so I just walked out on my back porch and I just sat out there for like an hour. And I just like contemplated everything, man, just thought about it, and I was like, you know what, dude, if I don't do it now, like, I'm not going to do it.
And honestly, that's probably the best thing that's happened to you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
By far.
Man, absolutely. Just, dude, the main reason why I could never let this career field go is based off of, I completely get to run my own schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So the days that I'm off, I don't do shit besides spend time with my daughter. I literally pick her up that morning. We spend the entire day together. I drop her off that next morning, and I come to work. And like, I try my best to regulate that, dude. Like, because the work-life balance thing that Johnny was talking about is so important. And you know, if my daughter's taking a nap or something, I'll grab my iPad and I'll draw. But outside of that, dude, I that's her time, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, and I don't want her to ever just be sitting there bored, like, come on, you know, and me just be on my phone pecking all day, like, so, like, clients kind of get shitty about, like, how long it takes to do the shit, you know, but, like, or to get back with them with a drawing or an answer or something, but, dude, like, you gotta understand, like, we're humans as well, like, we have to use that separation. Because if you don't, dude, my dad always uses this phrase that you're burning the candle at both ends.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been multiple times in my life where, like, it broke me down, and I had to stop because I killed myself, man. But, yeah, no, I don't know, just if it wasn't for her, dude, no, I would not be where I am today. And, like, being my own boss and, like, just living my life the way I want to, dude, it's completely owed to her. She's an asshole, but
yeah. I definitely understand and know where you're coming from on that one. But so, what'd you say to Johnny when you were like, hey, it's time? Like, what did he say to you?
Yeah, it was the other way around. He just opened Endless Sinks, the first one, and I was sitting at my house. I actually lived in New Carlisle at the time, which is a good distance away, but it was the halfway point from Piqua so I could tattoo, my family so I could see them, and work so I can weld. And
again, at this point, Johnny was building his shop, so he had a lot of shit going on. We just had my daughter, so I had a lot of shit going on. So we didn't speak for a couple months, man. And out of nowhere, he messaged me on Facebook. He was like, "Hey, man, do you have a jug of Maticide by chance?" Which is like our cleaning agent. He was like, "Because the health inspector's coming, and mine's not going to be here till the day after he comes." He's like, "So like I really need one." And I was like, "Yeah, I actually got one." I was like, I got you, dude." So I picked it up and went and took it to him, and like I sat down in the chair beside him. He was tattooing, so I brought the jug in and sat it down, and I like sat down in the chair beside him, dude. I'm just like looking around the room, and he's like going on with conversation, and he just like looks up at me, and he like catches me staring off, and he was like, "What's up, dude?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "You want this, don't you?" I'm like, "Dude, you have no idea. Like, I can't put it into words how badly I want this." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you know, if you can make the time." And I was like, "I could figure something out. You know, I don't know, but I can make it happen." And he's like, "Well, we'll talk about it." And I was like, "Cool." And then, dude, it was probably about a month later. He finally messaged me, and he was like, "Dude, I want you to come and work with me." He's like, "You know, we'll figure out our schedule the way or, you know, the further it goes." He's like, "But I want you in here." And I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like my heart started.
I was about
pounding.
to say, what was going through your mind when he said that,
dude? Just to have him believe in me that to that extent, where, you know, he felt comfortable with me being in a shop with him. Like, I don't know, just it put me on another planet, because I've always wanted to be apprenticed by Johnny, but he was, during that whole time me and him were kicking it, he was going through his apprenticeship with Gene. So like he didn't really have the necessities to be able to teach me how to do anything, because he was still learning.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, he just like, he saw something in me that he fucking loved, dude. And like I honestly at that point had like 3 apprenticeships under my belt that like fell through. It was
wow.
Yeah. It just me and the person just didn't get along, and the one dude was a drug problem, and I ain't got no time for that shit, dude.
Oh yeah, no one does.
And so yeah, I like when he gave me that opportunity, dude, like my whole freaking world changed. Like I was like, I'm going to be like a legit set in stone artist. Like I'll be able to call myself that. And you know, just I don't know, it was a lot of learning from Johnny, because he, like, there's just so many times where I doubted myself, and shit, I still do it to this day, man. Like I'm in my opinion, I'm a decent tattoo artist that can lay a solid tattoo like that. But like to be good or great, like, dude, that's the people that I look up to, you know. Like I can't. Ego is such a big thing in this industry, like, and if you let your head swell up, man, like, you're just gonna be this prick that nobody wants to deal with. Like,
exactly.
It's too much. But yeah, dude. And then it just started. I started tattooing there, and when me and my ex separated, dude, I was there literally every chance I got. There was a time where she wasn't even letting me see my daughter at the, you know, for a quick time, and
Yeah.
That messed with me. So like my only way to rebuttal against it was to just go to work and tattoo and keep my mind off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's one of the points where I started burning the candle at both ends, because dude, I would get there at like, you know, 8:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't leave till like 3 or 4 in the morning the next morning, you know. Like it was crazy, dude. I was just killing myself.
And I think a little bit after that happened, once Charmy came in and started working, that's when I first met you.
Yeah.
And when I first met you, the first thing I noticed about you was that huge ass gun on your arm. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's sweet. And that was when I got my first tattoo with my son's hand footprint and birth date. And when Johnny was tattooing me, that was a couple days later after we got it all drawn up. But when Johnny was tattooing me, I asked him about you. I was like, oh, what's this Cole guy like? And he was like, he's the hardest worker I know. Like he was telling me how hard you worked and how much you've grown in just that short time from when he said, hey, like, I want you at my tattoo shop to tattoo, to when he was tattooing me. Mm-hmm. He had nothing but good things to say. He actually talked about how he saw himself in you. and that was the big reason why he brought you on. But I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, so you're working like a fiend. You had a short time where you didn't get to see your daughter, and you're killing the game. Like, obviously you're killing the game. You're growing. You're doing good tattoos, and nothing but improving. Now you get to the point where you make the transition into the new studio, which we're in right now. What was that transition like, and what is the big hurdles you had to go through from the transition from the old shop to the new shop, if there was any at all?
I highly think that people started taking us way more seriously once we moved into the shop. Like, we had the artistic ability at the old shop, but we just didn't have that look to be able to pull in all the people that we pull in. Like, you go to any tattoo shop, man, there's like death metal, there's half naked chicks all over the walls. Like, it's, a soccer mom's not going to feel comfortable with going in there and getting tattooed, or a teacher or something like that. This place just, it brings such a broad horizon to just the types of people that we have in here. And I think that's why we're doing so well, man. Like, you can be literally any genre that you freaking can think under the sun, and you can come in here and we'll make you feel completely and utterly at home and just comfortable, And that's something very hard for a tattoo shop to do, especially doing tattoos, they're a little bit more private. Dude, I cannot tell you how many times where people they feel comfortable. So they're like, fuck it, dude, go ahead, But some of the bigger hurdles that I've had to face, honestly, schedules. Like, I'm not a scheduled
from getting into the new building.
Yeah, dude. Like, as soon as we got in here, we got in here on income, or like right after income tax time comes. So we're we're getting slammed.
Yeah.
And we're just soaking it up as much as we possibly can, because we know eventually it's going to end. Like, it's what happens.
Yeah.
And dude, it was like a month goes by, 3 months goes by, and we're still just as busy, dude. We're slamming. Like, I'm having no problem filling my schedule. Like, shit is just a madhouse. And there was a few artists here that were complaining about, like, not being able to set shit up, that are no longer here. I'm just like, dude, you just got to be here. Like, a lot of my clientele I've met through walk-ins, man. So just being here and being able to talk to them and giving them that friendly environment, man, just like, it hook, line, and sinks them. And scheduling is one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. Like, it was so easy to just walk into a factory and be like, oh, I work from here to here.
Yeah.
And do your shit. This job, dude, if you're not hustling and doing what you need to do, you're not making money. And like, that is the biggest thing that stuck out to me. Is like, one day I woke up, during that downtime where my head was messed up. When me and my ex split, I actually moved in with Johnny. Like, I started living at his house. Me and my daughter we had other places to go, but like, dude, you're talking like 45 minutes away from my job. Like, I couldn't do it. So Johnny's like, dude, come through. Like, I got you guys. And he's a brother nonetheless. Like, dude, he's been there for me at my lowest times, and he's an amazing fucking dude. And I just something clicked one day, and I was like, if I want to show my daughter how to be able to provide and to chase your dreams and achieve those dreams, like, I have to get off my ass. And like, I wouldn't leave Johnny's house, dude. I would cancel all of my appointments. I would sit inside. I would just get stoned and fucking just all pity me bullshit. And dude, I just one day it all fucking changed, and I was like, I'm done with this. I'm taking a serious route to this shit, man. But I mean, still to this day, dude, just doing your own schedule is just such a pain in the ass. Like, I've thought about hiring a fucking assistant just so I don't have to deal with the shit anymore, but I like the one-on-one contact with a client. Like, this is what I want, this is what I'm thinking, as opposed to going through somebody else and there's just shit gets crossed. I don't like that. So I gotta suck it up and keep doing my schedule.
But other than that, that's the only big thing from that transition.
I'll say just the responsibility that came with the transition, because when I was working at the old shop, I was just an artist. Mm-hmm. When we moved into this shop, I was promoted to manager. So, like, pretty much what it was Johnny wanted the bullshit to run through me before it got to him. That way, I would know if it was like really important or if it was just dumb shit that I should deal with. And there was a couple of times where, like, just dumb situations that, you know, I tried to just like extinguish before it even got to be a big thing. But it's never fucking easy when you're around opinionated people. Like, it's just artists, they're gonna say what's on their freaking mind, and it happened a lot. And it got to a point, like, just I found there's a way to talk to people, and there's a way not to talk to people.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And like, I'm not an asshole by no means, but like, if it's some serious shit, like, dude, we're gonna sit down and talk. But for the most part, dude, I'm just gonna be like, yo, like, stop being a douche. I feel like I'm a pretty laid back manager, man. Like, but yeah, no, I don't think, other than that, like, I mean, just other than like just the expectation of growth to, you know, as an artist should have. Like, you should always just be progressing. So that's a constant, you know, to be around so many great artists. Like, it's awesome, because, and especially because, like, you can go to anybody. Like, if one person's too busy doing something, like, you can go to anybody, and we all have a different way of looking at things. So, dude, you might get, you know, 6 different freaking answers. But, you know, for the most part, at the end of the day, it's all love, and, you know, we treat everybody with respect. And, you know, just the fact to be able to have that many artists to be able to, like, here, this is how you do shit. Like, dude, to be an apprentice now compared to back when we were apprentices, like, dude, we had Johnny, we had Charmaine, and me. That's it.
And just to have so many people around you.
What's up, Porch Talk? Johnny in the house.
You're talking too loud.
Sorry, I'll whisper Porch Talk. Just got pictures of my baby. I'm jumping in on this. Here, back to Cole.
That's it.
Yeah, that is the boss, man. But I have just a couple more questions for you. One, what is like the biggest trial and tribulation that you feel has changed your life dramatically, other than the ones you've stated with your daughter's mom splitting up with you and that whole thing?
I would say the biggest thing that changed me, dude, was hearing my daughter cry for the first time. Like, that, in that moment in itself, man. Like, I used to be so, like, self-absorbed, just all about myself, and did not give a shit about anyone else. And finally there was a point in my life where, like, I had to stop thinking about myself, and I had to think about somebody else. And, like, I don't know, man, like, there's been a lot of, like, relationships that I did not do so well on, that I should have, man. Like, they were amazing fucking people that I shit on because I could, you know, I was so self-absorbed. But, you know, the moment that my daughter came into my life, man, like, everything changed in a blink of an eye. And, you know, in my opinion, for the better. I love the person that I am today, that I wake up being, you know, being able to just wake up and have Mace run into the room fucking screaming daddy, dude. Oh god, I love it. It makes this job so much better, having that responsibility. Like, it just changed everything about my life.
Okay. And what is some advice you could give to young parents, including myself, because I look up to you in that regard, being such a young parent and going and growing with her. What is one big piece of advice you could give someone like me?
Man, I'd say act like a fucking kid. Like, dude, that's when, like, I'm able to relate to her and communicate so much, is because, you know, I'm not sitting there stressed about money or work or anything. I shut off business completely when I'm with her, and just being able to step out of, like, this busy work schedule and all that shit, man. Like, to be able to step aside from that and, like, focus and talk and communicate with her, like, I think that's why mine and her relationship is so strong. It's just because, you know, dude, she already at this, I mean, she doesn't talk a lot, but, like, I feel like I could talk to her about anything and she could do the same to me. Like, it's just that communication's on another level.
Okay. And I asked Johnny this question. I want to know your answer to it. What's your definition of being a man in this day and age? Because it's fucking it's skewed, and I think there needs to be something done about that. We need clear definition of what it is to be a man.
My clear definition, man, is to, like, not only to be a good man, but just to be a good person in general. Is just be there for the people that are there for you. You know, family to me is everything. Like, just because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at, you know? And taking care of you, your family, your kids, however the case is, you know, the responsibility thing that he was talking about, you know, as long as you're taking care of what you need to do, like, in my opinion, man, like, you know, I don't want to say, like, it's a new age and time where it's not the man's job to provide for. I mean, it is. Ideally it is. But on the same hand, like, dude, in this day and age, the dude, if the guy is the only one that's working, dude, you're struggling. Like, unless he has a knock the fuck out job, like, you're struggling to get by. And, you know, to be able to again provide that work-life balance, man, because you got to be able to spend time with your family and the people that are around you. If you're not, you're just like, you're a shell sitting there on the side of the room, you know? But yeah, dude, just being a man, in my opinion, is just being there to help you, your family, your kids, just being there, present, and showing them that you actually give a shit just as much as they do, in my opinion.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, I agree with that wholeheartedly, like I agreed with Johnny. All right, I want you to take a couple minutes, plug whatever you want. I don't care what it is. If you want to plug anything at all, do it.
You talking like social media and stuff?
Anything,
like that?
yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you want, man.
My Facebook's Cole Curtner, or A.L. Curtner. My Instagram's Cole Curtner 23. Snapchat's Cole Curtner 23. Like, that's mostly where I send all my stuff to. I don't have Twitter or anything. I don't really fuck with Twitter. I can't.
Yeah, I don't.
I've tried it, but I was just like, nah, this ain't me. I don't like.
I agree.
That's it, though, dude.
All right. Well, hey, Cole, thank you so much,
Absolutely,
dude.
man. Thanks for having me.
This is an awesome interview. Well, this has been Nico, and this has been Porch Talk. Thanks for listening.